We won't falter, flinch, or fail. SecDef Lloyd Austin alongside the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, C.Q. Brown, right there, addressing reporters, talking about the largest ever Ukraine security assistance initiative package ever for Ukraine, including interceptors for Ukraine's Patriot systems, air defense systems, counter-drone systems, a significant amount of support for Ukraine as it takes on now months and months of a pretty brutal war initiated by Russia. Let's bring in our Louis Martinez, who covers the Pentagon for us. Also, Mick Mulroy, our security and defense analyst. Let's start with you, Louis, and just talk about this aid package. Clearly, this is a part of that massive foreign aid package that we announced, or President Biden announced just days ago. Now getting into the nitty-gritty of exactly what this means for Ukraine and Israel.
No, you're right, Kara. It's been a really busy week with regards to Ukraine and the funding levels, the $95 billion of which $60 billion of it was intended for Ukraine. And immediately after that, we saw the $1 billion in immediate aid. These are weapons in the U.S. inventory that are being provided immediately to Ukraine. But there's another portion of that money which goes towards future weapons buys. And that's where the $6 billion that Secretary Austin announced just came in. This is $6 billion that the United States will provide so that Ukraine can purchase additional new weapons. And, of course, the key focus here is on air defense. You heard him talking specifically about more artillery ammunition. You heard him specifically talking about more missiles for those Patriot systems. You also heard Defense Secretary Austin talking about how the United States and other countries are going to, it seems like, try to provide more Patriot systems, those launchers that Ukraine is so desperately asking for as Russia keeps launching more attacks on Ukraine cities. The question is, when will they arrive, given that they're in such dire need?
And, Mick, let's just add a little more context here. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky actually today calling for those additional air defense systems to be sent to Kyiv to help protect his men from those Russian strikes, saying that this pause in U.S. funding had really helped Moscow seize the initiative. He goes on to say that his Ukrainian troops were at a 10-to-1 disadvantage in artillery ammunition. He said, as you can imagine, what our soldiers feel when they simply have nothing to respond to enemy fire. It just inspires Putin to fight on. So let's just talk about what Zelensky says he needs here and how this is going to help him fight against the Russians.
Absolutely, Kira. So this national security supplemental obviously should have been passed a long time ago, but it's still going to have a massive impact. As you said, they were outgunned literally 10-to-1, and they're already outnumbered substantially when it comes to the fight against the Russians. That said, most analysts predicted 3 days and Kyiv would fall. We're now at 792 days, I believe, and Russia's only taken 18% of the country. So this shows the fighting tenacity of the Ukrainian soldier. Now it's going to be matched with the type of equipment I think they need to win, to turn the tides, to start taking back terrain. These F-16s, fighter aircraft, these long-range artillery, ATACMS, the longest of which could reach every place in Ukraine, main battle tanks, and of course, as you mentioned, the air and missile defense system, which they desperately need, not just for their troops, but Russia aims directly at civilian populations, which of course is a violation of the law of armed conflict. But these systems are incredibly important. I think this sends the right message. And as you quoted, they will not falter, they will not flinch, they will not flail, the U.S., that is, in supporting Ukraine, and that sends the exact right message to Russia.
Mick Mulroy, Louis Martinez, gentlemen, thank you.